Hey, listen to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM 89.0, ArrowFM, and MPR. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype we've got Josh. So we talked last week quite a bit about NXT, and we got some updates this week, so we're going to jump on into the NXT Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic results from this week, and a little bit of news about what we're going to see next week. So first off, Imperium, they took out the Forgotten Sons, pretty much as we'd expected on that side.
Yep, not a surprise there.
There's got to be a little bit of an NXT UK presence later on in the tournament. Imperium, fairly strong team there. Forgotten Sons, they're struggling at the moment. So, most obvious outcome with those guys. And then all the way on the other side of the bracket, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, the Undisputed Era, managed to take out Gallus of Mark Coffey and Wolfgang to continue through onto the semifinals.
It's interesting. Now that we know who KUSHIDA's partner is, it's not a surprise at all.
Yeah, let's jump to that. So the team, we knew it was KUSHIDA and a mystery partner. That mystery partner has now been announced as one Alex Shelley, reuniting the Time Splitters, which was a tag team from New Japan, and pretty much guaranteeing themselves a semifinal spot, I would assume.
Yeah, at the very least, I would say probably more closer to guaranteeing a finals. Because in all honesty, I don't see the Undisputed Era making the finals. Yeah.
So it's bad news for the Grizzled Young veterans, because they pretty much got guaranteed their loss. But I am wondering, there's a couple of teams here. You got Riddle and Dunn, you got Shelley and KUSHIDA. I know everybody's hype having these two back together, but will it last? Will we see Alex Shelley turn on KUSHIDA at some point in this tournament? Semifinals, finals, after they win, before they win? Somewhere along this run.
I hope not, because they pulled that the last two times.
So you're not expecting it a third then? You don't want history to repeat?
No, I don't expect them to do it again.
Okay. To be fair, in saying that, we have also highlighted how NXT's tag team division is quite light at the moment, so adding some legitimate competitors in the Time Splitters probably is a great plan. And keeping them together, and potentially as the next tag team number one contender. And then, obviously we talked about them a little bit. Matt Riddle, Pete Dunne, the other put-together team, will be taking on Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, the former NXT UK Tag Team Champs. Does the Alex Shelley announcement shake up what we were expecting here? Does Riddle and Dunne still come out with the win?
I think they do.
Okay. So we're expecting 3 NXT and 1 NXT UK teams in the semifinals.
Yeah, I'm not really all that surprised with that, considering how strong the Imperium is. And also expect Imperium to be the other semifinalists, or finalists.
So Imperium versus Time Splitters final?
Yeah, and I'd much rather see the King of Bros and Dunn versus Imperium, because I think it would be a much better match.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully we'll get that in the semifinals, assuming Andrews and Webster don't pick up the win next week. But a little bit of a development there with the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and it gives us an excuse to play the Motor City Machine Guns theme later on in the show. Bit of a good song there for everybody. But while we are talking about NXT and NXT UK, there is a WWE Network show coming up this weekend. It is NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 2, and it has the 3 championships on the line as well as a couple other matches. So we're going to run down it. Josh might coin flip some predictions here. We'll find out. Opening match, Jordan Devlin taking on Tyler Bate.
Tyler Bate.
Nice and easy there. I'm also with you on that prediction. And then Tyler Bates' best bud Trent Seven will be taking on Eddie Dennis.
Eddie Dennis.
That was a coin flip, wasn't it?
Actually, it was just me snapping my fingers.
I'm going to go with Trent Seven. I'm going to go Mustache Mountain clean sweep on those singles matches. Let's talk about the NXT UK Women's Championship. It's a triple threat match. So the current champion, Kaylee Ray, she's been appearing over on Survivor Series. She showed up on NXT this week. She will be defending it against Toni Storm. Former champion, came back strong recently, looking quite good. And then Piper Niven, bit more of an upstart, hasn't had that championship opportunity just yet on NXT UK. And bit of animosity between Storm and Piper. Both of them wanted the shot at the title. They both ended up getting it in a triple threat match.
Pippin.
Easy peasy. I don't know. I feel like Toni Storm isn't going to pick the title back up. I don't think that's the option they're going to go with. Do I think Kaylee Ray will hold on to the belt for a little longer? No, actually I don't. I think I'm with you. I'm going to go Piper Niven. Walking off with the belt.
I didn't pick Toni because I think she showed up on NXT this week.
Yeah, so NXT this week to hype it up. Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, and Toni Storm took on the team of Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, and Kaylee Ray. So both Storm and the champion Kaylee Ray were over on NXT to hype up Blackpool. And then we've got the NXT UK Tag Team Championship. It is in one of those classic Fatal 4-Way Tag Team ladder matches. We have the current champions, Gallus, the team of Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, taking on Imperium, Fabian Aichner and Marcel Barthel, taking on the first champions, the Grizzled Young Veterans, Zach Gibson and James Drake, taking on the second champions, Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster.
Imperium.
So after this match, you're going to have all four of these teams be the four teams that have held the NXT UK Championship.
Why not?
It's fair. I think over on NXT at the moment, obviously Undisputed Era holding all of the gold. Depending on the outcome of the match that we will talk about next, you can potentially have Imperium holding all of the gold over here, or Gallus. Because our main event match is Walter defending his United Kingdom Championship against Joe Coffey.
We need to play Vince McMahon's theme, because Joe Coffey has no chance against Walter.
And that's what he's got. Yeah, Walter will be the one, I think, walking out with the UK title. I think I'm with you. I didn't lay my prediction down for the tag team. I'm going to roll back. I'm going to say Imperium as well. I think Imperium walks out with all the gold, and we get a similar sort of image as we do with NXT at the moment with the Undisputed Era. Heel faction laying on top with all of the gold around their waist. So that's NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool. As I said, on NXT, we're hyping it up a little bit, but mainly it was the focus on that Dusty Rhodes Classic stuff that we've already talked about, and because of that, we're going to go to the song early. I feel like I want to split up the NXT and the Raw and SmackDown, so we're going to go to the song now. That is the Motor City Machine Guns theme, because Alex Shelley is the tag team partner for KUSHIDA in this year's Dusty Rhodes Classic. And you're back with Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and MPR. I'm Grady, he's Josh, and we've got Raw and SmackDown to talk about now. Which one do you want to talk about? Pick it. Blue or red? Flip a coin.
Purple.
205 Live this week. Some stuff happened. I'll admit, didn't watch it.
It doesn't matter to me.
Let's go with Friday Night SmackDown. We got some returns. The Usos showing on up to help out their best old bud.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was really interesting, especially since I had forgotten they hadn't been drafted. I thought they were drafted to one of the brands. They were drafted to Raw.
Yeah. As far as I remember, the Usos and Naomi both remained undrafted. But yes, they are here now. It looks like they're still going to be hanging out with their bud Roman Reigns. but that does sort of propel them straight away into this Daniel Bryan, Fiend, Reigns, Corbin, Ziggler sort of cacophony of back and forth. I'm sure as soon as Robert Roode is finished doing his sentence, it makes a lovely little, even if you remove Bryan and Bray out of it, a lovely little 4-on-4. Sorry, 3-on-3, I can count.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. It made sense. Roman did need some help. And obviously, if you're going to count on anybody, might as well count on your family.
Mm-hmm. It's nice, clear, and easy, but it also wasn't the only return we had this week, because my boy Sheamus, he's here, and he's kicking Shorty G in the head.
Oh boy. Well, that was a fun push for Shorty G. Off a cliff.
To be fair, we were talking maybe 6 months ago, Shorty G, he was really getting a push. King of the Ring time, we were like, yeah, this guy's got it. He looks like he's getting to the top there. And then he fell off a cliff on his own. Okay, Sheamus might have, kicked him back down when he was trying to crawl back up, but Shorty G was already off that cliff.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to see Sheamus back, though. I was worried that he wasn't going to be able to wrestle anymore. His career was over. But it seems that they're at least giving him one last run.
Yeah, that's the news I'd originally heard as well, and it was quite worrying. As I said when I introduced him, Sheamus is one of my guys. Pretty much liked him since he debuted, and it'd be a bit of a shame. So hopefully we can see him sort of go out on his own terms. You know, if this is one last run, maybe he's 100% medically fine. I don't break into hospitals for his medical records. But if it is one last run, hopefully he can end it nicely and on his own terms, not laying on a stretcher. And we also had one more return. Much to Josh's chagrin, John Morrison showed up on SmackDown, and he was hanging around a certain A-list superstar's locker room.
Well, the Fiend has struck again.
Just throwing people back to their old gimmicks, eh?
Yeah. This time, the superstar got thrown back to 2009.
So is the canon here that, because Bray fell into the Lake of Reincarnation, right? Did he just absorb some of those powers? And now whenever he just beats someone, he just, exudes this Lake of Reincarnation sort of energy over people that compels them to become an older self? This is canon in my head.
I don't know. I think he's so out there and so messes with people's minds so much that he breaks them, and the only way they can cope with it is to be an old version of themselves, like when you're rebooting a crashed Windows.
Yeah. To be fair, I'd be pretty worried if my Windows 10 crashed. I rebooted it and it booted into Windows 98. But, yeah, so it looks like we're going to get Morrison and Miz teaming back up. Possibly, maybe. That's what we're hinting at. And if that is the case, then SmackDown's tag team division across the night just got a jab of adrenaline in its leg.
It's definitely would be stronger with having the Usos and Miz and Morrison in it. Definitely a lot stronger than Raw's, that's for sure.
Yeah, sorry, Raw. But, if you're looking at it, they got what? The New Day, Heavy Machinery, Revival, Miz and Morrison, Usos, Cesaro, Nakamura, Rude and Ziggler. You got some options laying around, so we'll see what comes of SmackDown's tag team division and what comes of their championship scene as we move on, especially if Miz and Morrison are going to be sticking together. I expect them to find themselves in that championship picture pretty quickly. And I need to see if they're going to do the slow-mo entrance or not. This is important to me. Is there anything else on SmackDown before we jump over to the Red brand that you want to recap?
Can't really think of anything.
That's a negativo, so we're jumping on over to WWE Raw that aired on January 6th in America. We open it up. We got told Brock Lesnar was going to show up, and he did exactly that. Comes out, and just tells it as it is.
Yeah, he's going to be in the Royal Rumble.
And not just in the Royal Rumble.
Number 1, he's going to start the Rumble. Which means I feel sorry for whoever's number 2. Probably be Heath Slater.
People have been positing maybe Drake Maverick.
God, that's the only one that would be funnier.
Yeah. It's, it could be terrifying for who's going to end up in there. Obviously, we were talking last week about, who's Brock Lesnar going to defend the title against at Royal Rumble. The answer, no one.
Yeah. At least it's not like, at least for him, it's not going to be like it was for Roman Reigns, where he had to defend it against 29 guys.
Mm-hmm. The question does come.
He's just hijacking a match.
If Brock Lesnar does win, does he just challenge for the other title? What's the rules here when one of the big champions wins it?
I would assume that would be the case. It would probably end up being then Bray versus, or whoever is the Universal Champion, most likely Bray, versus Brock. Winner take all.
Are we heading down a unification storyline here?
I would say no.
Okay. So you're picking Brock not winning.
The whole purpose for him being in the match is to set up his WrestleMania feud with whoever eliminates him.
Mm-hmm. Drake Maverick.
Which I would pray is Drew.
I would too.
But it's probably going to be Cain Velasquez.
Or alternate situation. Could be Drew. Could be Drew. Let's just start the prayer circle now. Drew versus Brock. Drew versus Brock. But yeah, we'll have to see. Obviously, the Rumble, I think at this point, has a couple of announced competitors, if I can click fast enough. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, AJ Styles, Eric Rowan, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, and Drew McIntyre. So we got 8 guys announced.
Yep. Rumor has it it'll be 10 from Raw, 10 from SmackDown, and then 10 from NXT.
I'm down with that.
/ NXT UK.
Raw has already thrown 7 in, and my god, that is a strong 7. All of the other brands are going to struggle to compete with that. Just put them up on pedestals, right? Lesnar, Styles, Orton, Mysterio, McIntyre, Ricochet, Rowan. Pretty big names.
Yeah.
It does leave me questioning, what else is going to be on the card. Obviously, we've got the Men's Rumble, the Women's Rumble. We know the Raw Women's Championship is going to be on the line. We know the Universal Championship is going to be on the line. What else are we going to get here?
Maybe we'll finally get a Intercontinental Championship defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think...
Maybe.
Braun versus Nakamura, whether it's at the Rumble or whether we get it beforehand, I think we're definitely lining up to that. We'll probably get both tag team titles on the line.
We'll probably get another match between Mysterio and Andrade.
Well, Mysterio then would have to be doing...
They're great matches.
He'd have to be doing double duty because he is in the Rumble.
It wouldn't be the first time.
No.
Just because you're in the Rumble doesn't mean you can't have another match.
I'm not discounting it. Just slightly less likely. I don't know. But nobody else is lining themselves up.
Andrade and Mysterio had a match on Raw. The match ended with Mysterio having his mask stolen.
Mm-hmm.
Andrade was cutting a promo while holding the mask and then got attacked by Rey Mysterio, who took his mask back.
Yeah.
Which tells me they're not done with that storyline.
That's true. The beauty of the Royal Rumble is there is so many options for storyline progression and setting up and everything. So I'm sure they will interact over the weekend. How? I don't know just yet. But yeah, at the moment, that's pretty strong field from Raw. I look forward to seeing what NXT and SmackDown announce for their side of it. If we're looking at the tag team belts, I did say they'd probably both be defended at the Royal Rumble. And, contrary to our guesses, the Viking Raiders are still the Raw Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, honestly. I still expect probably an OC versus Viking Raiders match at Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm. Now, see, I know that it was a triple threat match, but we were talking about this whole rock, paper, scissors, Viking Raiders unable to put away the OC. The match did end in the Viking Raiders pinning the OC. But is the monkey off their back?
Well, I guess that's what we'll find out at the Rumble.
Boom. What's Eric Rowan got in his little cage? Because it's horrifying, Mojo Rawley.
I don't know, but it spits blood, apparently.
It's got to be alive, right? I'm very perplexed.
It's one of Bray Wyatt's rejected puppets.
I've heard that it's a Rambling Rabbit.
It's Rambling Rabbit's cousin.
Ravenous Rabbit. But yeah, Eric Rowan, he's getting that push, as I listed out those names on Raw. That's some good company to be around with. Still taking out jobbers as we go through, though, so we'll see what he's going to be doing after the Rumble. We've got to see what everybody's WrestleMania is going to look like. Eric Rowan's a big mystery at the moment. I don't quite know where he's headed from here. I don't see any sort of ready-made feuds for him to go through.
Yeah, I think that's why he's just dealing with local talent right now. Because they're not 100% sure on his direction.
Yeah. Well, someone whose direction we do know, Aleister Black, he managed to defeat Shelton Benjamin, and then good old Buddy Murphy popped in and said, hey, we need a third match despite the fact that you won the first two. And,
okay.
And kicked him a little bit. And kicked him a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Aleister Black wins the third match, and then they become a tag team.
Oh, no. Best of 7. Best of 7. Let's wait and see if they'll go that far. But we got the main event still to talk about. Seth Rollins, he's got his boys AOP standing behind him. Sort of like Reigns has the Usos behind him now. And they were going up against Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens. Formidable foes, but numbers game, they need a bit of help. And they got quite a big help.
Yes, a 7-foot giant.
It's been a while.
Yeah, the last time we saw him, he was teaming with the Bar and was too injured to do anything. So it's nice to see Big Show back.
I feel like the question comes up every time he comes back of, is this one last run? Getting one more in?
Yeah, I would figure, probably. Honestly, I felt like he should be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's definitely we're on the backside where it's just there's only a little bit more that we can get out of him.
Mm-hmm. This return might have maybe pushed his induction until the year after. I don't quite know just yet. Obviously, it depends what he's going to be doing leading up to WrestleMania. We've seen plenty of people inducted and still fight heaps of times after, or fight at WrestleMania. That's fine, but I want to see what his storyline is heading into WrestleMania. Is he going to have one? Is he just going to be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal again? Because I think if he's getting a big storyline and a big reason to be there at WrestleMania, that probably pushes the induction a little bit. That being said, we don't know who the WWE 2K21 pre-order bonus to show up at WrestleMania in the Hall of Fame is going to be. Is there anything else from Raw that you can remember that you would like to chat about? It's that intense moment of trying to remember. It was 3 hours of show. There was a lot.
Can't really answer that. I don't know.
Okay. I'm going to call it no, and we're going to move on to the end of the show, or else we're going to run over. So it's been great talking to you.
Baby.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/wrestling radio, or Twitter page, twitter.com/wrestling radio. And we'll see you next week with the results from NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 2.